Alrighty, so I didn't really want to use this team because I think it's very basic, and I mean, obviously, I think this is the best team that you could run because Melly's super strong. He's like a backup DPS if anything happens. If they have debuffers or anything like that, he's basically going to be able to get True Magic turn 2. It's really, really easy. Plus, if you're running Gother, which I know a lot of you guys might not have Gother because he was kind of an easy skip. He was just like released at a bad time, random new festival out of nowhere, but you can basically just use him to rank up Escanor turn 1, get really easy damage out, and then you're basically good to go. I do have enough to True Awaken 2 characters at the moment. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw Merlin in, just because I do use the Sins team from time to time, and she's just a nice character to have, and it's just going to give me a little bit extra CC. I'm thinking the other one is probably going to go to Bond, because I use him for humans and Sins, so that would be kind of a no-brainer. I don't know that I want to really do it onto Escanor or not, so either way. I'm running Escanor on attack crit, everybody else is on HP defense. We're at 386 without food. It is kind of baffling how high the CC is getting. Somebody commented, somebody commented yesterday on my Jillian video, and they were like, wow, like, I think it was in geared, it was like 252 in geared, or in ungeared with Jillian is wild, and I was like, dang, like that really is like pretty high CC. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that the Sins team can hit like 370 or 270 in ungeared. But, I mean, really, what are you going to do? Like, it's kind of ridiculous. This actually might be a real player, but I'm not 100% sure on that. This is also another problem, is that Escanor is a go-first unit. And with him being a go-first unit, you're going to run into the issue where some people are just not going to want to play the match out. Because obviously, if you get to go first, you can pretty much eliminate anybody on the field that you want. And I mean, there's a little counterplay. Like, if you don't kill Escanor, he gains attack related. If you do kill Escanor, you know, you might deal damage to them, and you might give your, you know, additional characters extra stuff. But it really depends on your Escanor's ult level, which is very, very unfortunate. Like, the fact that they made him extremely pay to win is not great. Got a crazy turn 1 hand here. Because we don't have a damage cap on Melly, I'm just going to take him out turn 1 with this and see how much damage the extra damage does. I don't know. I'm kind of the team is pretty crazy in general. So what are you going to do? My God, 831 into a death on Bond. So that's going to be 40% attack related on his Escanor. Depending on his backline unit and his card draw, he could potentially get a pretty good hand here. I don't know. He does already have 1 silver card for Escanor. I still have damage cap on my Escanor. So he could either double single target my Escanor, or he is going to burn some HP off. Okay, what are we looking like here? Pretty good, actually. Almost half HP. And then he's going to kill Escanor. Okay, that's actually not too bad. I am only going to cleanse 2 buffs here, so that's a little unfortunate, but should be okay, I think. I got a comment today as well. There's so much to Escanor's kit that I just can't keep track of it all. He gives extra single, I think it's like the extra single target damage or something like that. He affects single targets whenever he dies. So the fact that Merlin is the backliner for the Sins team, if you kill him off whenever Merlin is the last character left, it really doesn't matter at all because she gains no benefit from it. So that is kind of beneficial there. I don't know. I like Escanor, don't get me wrong. Like the character's cool, but he's very one note, and it makes for these really, really fast matches where if you're fighting a real player, a lot of the times you're going to kill off 1 unit and then they're just going to forfeit, or they don't forfeit and then you just run over their team if you go first, of course. If you go second, I mean, more than likely you lose if they play it correctly. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's making for a little bit more of a boring meta, and that kind of sucks. And he's not even, like, it's crazy too, because he could be way worse. Like, he could be so much stronger. Like, you know how, like, there was the big debate on, or not really debate, but there was a lot of, like, talk in the community about his AoE not being great, and then his ultimate is very lackluster. If his ultimate was really good, and his AoE was even better than it already is, this guy would be unstoppable. Like, the fact that he's a good DPS. He can kill somebody off turn 1 very consistently. And whenever he dies, he also has those extra perks of, like, dealing damage to the enemy team. And then, buffing single targets for the rest of your team. And, like, he's kind of like a good support. I don't know. He has one of those interesting, like, field presences. Almost like Hell. Not necessarily like Hell. Hell is pretty overwhelming sometimes with, like, if you can't kill and then you do too much AoEs and stuff like that. Like, you have to be very careful with the cards you choose in that regard. But Escanor definitely has, like, some cool stuff going on with him. So let's go ahead and throw another AoE out. I don't think we'll have too many issues killing off his Escanor. It is kind of interesting at how, like, he's not super squishy, don't get me wrong, but I say that as he gets obliterated by that. He can tank sometimes. Like, sometimes I see him tank more than others, and I think that depends on the team, of course. Like, if they're running Bond with the damage reduction and stuff like that. The human team just in general has a lot of stats, which the Sins team, I think, has around the same amount of stats, if I'm not mistaken. Because Merlin's, I think, giving 15% for each Sin on the field, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think Gother is giving the same amount. I think he also gives 15%, whereas on the human team, I'm pretty sure... No, I mean, Arthur's giving 15%, but I guess it would depend on your backliner. But most backliners for the human team don't actually buff stats, I don't think. Like, you would run, like, Christmas Roxy or something like that. Or more recently, I've seen people running, like, Festival's Eldris with it, because you can put debuffs on and stuff like that. I don't know. Sin's team really just is kind of the best thing. But I feel like I see him tank better on the human team, whereas on the Sin's team, it's just like there's kind of too much to worry about. So... I don't know. I'm just kind of, like, ranting at this point. But either way, I don't know. I like the unit, don't get me wrong. He's cool. And I think maybe he's what people wanted. I really don't know. Let me know. Do you like the way that this Escanor is designed? Obviously, like, don't worry about the pay to win aspects of it. Like, him killing off a character turn 1 and stuff like that feels very Escanor. Like, he's doing really big damage turn 1, and that's kind of what you would expect from an Escanor unit. Whereas, I kind of like the counterplay behind Melly. Like, Melly, as annoying as he is, I've been talking crap about Melly for the past, like, month. As much as I really don't like a lot of the stuff that you have to deal with Melly, it is interesting because if you're... It makes it to where he's, like, very meta-relevant, so you have to be careful with the debuffs that you bring into the match. On top of that, you have to be careful with, giving him stacks and stuff like that. And, like, there's interesting mechanics around the character's passive, whereas Escanor's very hit this guy, once he's dead... It is what it is. The rest of the team will kind of mop up from here, kind of thing. And I mean, it's not necessarily it's not bad. It's just maybe a little bit less interesting to me personally. So let me know your thoughts on that, maybe. Do I just go for another AoE here? I guess so. But either way, I don't know. I feel like this team is so strong. I don't really like using Melly and Escanor together. It was... Like, you don't want him to be locked down to the human team because that really limits the options that you have with him. And they've really been wanting to build the Sins team up, it seems like. We're just going to push for Challenger, by the way, because this is probably going to be the last PvP video I do for the week. I was like, man, like, they're coming out with this new character. He's a Sins character. And... that means that you're going to be able to run Meliodas and Escanor together, which is like, God, that's like a death sentence. Like, it's already, what, 3 of the 4 UR characters that we have right now are for the Sins team, which is crazy. Like, the CC is just ridiculous. And I don't know, man. It's just... they have so much support. Like, they have a lot of options and stuff like that, too. Like, you could run, you know, New Year's King, who isn't, like, super, super relevant. I say that literally. I say that as he's right here. I wonder if it would be better to get rid of him, actually. I think it would, right? Because we need to get rid of him for the attack-related. We're not putting on debuffs, so Melee shouldn't be getting any sort of big advantage. Escanor could still be a little scary, of course. Ooh. Depending on the damage this deals... 560? That's pretty good. I love when that happens. I don't know what it is about that. I don't know what causes that, but like sometimes the character doesn't have a death animation and they just stand there and they just evaporate, which is really funny to me. So I don't know if that was the best trade-off. We kill King so that way he doesn't gain the attack related from King's passive, but then we kill 2 characters off, which gives him 40% attack related. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the extra damage from this card is going to go onto another character. It shouldn't kill, though, because it gets damage capped. So we do have that. He has Bond in the backline, which actually gives me debuffs, which is a bit unfortunate for him. I think in this scenario, we go for an AoE into a single target on Escanor, because if we can kill Escanor... even though Bond will gain the single target increase, he can only use 1 card, which means he can't combo us. Which should be very beneficial, of course, so... dang, almost killing Bond off there. I think if I would have... I'm not sure if it would have killed Escanor or not. If I would have double AoE'd, I wonder if it would have killed them both. But I'm not actually sure on that. But, surprisingly, a decent amount of actual players. 12:23, like a little after noon. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on Escanor, because I am kind of interested. I mean, we have a little bit more time. These matches, like I said, they just go by so fast. Let me set up the team on Ungeared. I don't know how many real players we're going to fight here, but I kind of want to see just a little bit of Ungeared performance as well. All right. First match here in Ungeared. 245. Like I was saying earlier, like the CCs are so high now. Like I really can't tell sometimes if these are bots or not. It feels like a little bit of latency, so I'm going to assume that this is a real player, but I really don't know. I'm at 270k, which is very high. That is very impressive. You know, as I was saying earlier with the whole Jillian thing, I do get really surprised at how far my account has come sometimes. And honestly, now that I'm in the Creators Club program, like I was able to do 2 rotations on the Escanor banner. That obviously helped out quite a bit as far as like getting dupes for, you know, festivals and, you know, GP for the account and this and that. Like the constellation stuff doesn't really add up until you finish a constellation, to be honest. Like that's where the really big boost is. But as far as like box CC goes, I was already at 16 mil before really doing anything like substantial with the Creators Club gyms or anything. So I feel like I got to that point pretty much on my own. But it's definitely adding up. It's definitely, I feel like I've come a long way. I mean, obviously, you know, the game's on its 5th anniversary. Global started, I think, 6 months or so after JP and everything. So technically, I've only been playing for like 4.5 years. But even then, that's still a long time. And, you know, that all kind of adds up. Okay, he went for his ultimate as well. I definitely rank up onto Melee here. I think I just do the same thing I've been doing. I don't know about double AoE here, actually. I wanted to single target, but I wasn't paying attention. But hopefully this will still kill. Because he does have some really good lifesteal. He gains more attack related there. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, that kills. I'm underestimating Melee a little bit at this point. But, I mean, that was more or less the same performance, I think. Was that a real player? Okay, it was. I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure on that. Oh, okay, I'm going second. This is not my costume. 277. 277 KCC is pretty crazy. So that means he's probably... okay, so he does have True Awakened Escanor, so that's an extra 1,000 CC. He more than likely has ult levels on him, if I had to guess. because there's very few people that have Constellation 6 done at this point. So I'm going to assume he doesn't have Constellation 6 yet. Other than that, I mean, he probably does have a little bit higher box CC if I had to guess, because that does weigh in a little bit as well. I don't know where all the CC's coming from. I think it's just ult levels, right? Because he's probably 6'6". He is. His Gother is 6'6". His Melee is 6'6". So that's definitely where all his CC's going. That is the one thing that is pretty unfortunate with my account, is that because I have not gone more than one rotation on a lot of stuff up until this point, I did pull one extra copy of Melee on Escanor's banner, so he's 2'6". I pulled 2 copies of I pulled 2 copies of Escanor, or Gother on his banner, so he's 2'6", and then Escanor I do have 4'6" from 2 rotations. So Escanor's got the most dupes, minus Merlin in the back line, she's 6'6", but she's kind of old at this point. So if I could have got a little bit more damage out there, we might have been able to wipe the field, which would have been crazy comeback potential. Because if he gets rid of my Melee in this scenario, I'm screwed. And he does have Escanor cards, so I'm assuming I'm cooked at this point. I didn't get any orbs. That is the problem, is that now the human team, or not human team, sorry, Sin's team is not using Bond really, because there's so many UR characters that, you know, you don't have to worry about putting debuffs on the enemy. Like, unless you're running like Green Sario Link or something, and you really don't need to. I guess the only problem not running Bond is that you're not going to get debuffs on for the Merlin damage reduction. But at that point, you're kind of just going for CC anyway. Like, Melee's going to have better CC than Bond. So there's not really much point in... Like, if your goal is to go first and wipe somebody off the field immediately, then Melee's your guy. Like, he's got better CC, so there's not really any real reason to run Bond for the damage reduction, because you're hoping to win the game turn 1 kind of thing. So it's kind of, it's a little bit of a trade-off. Like, you could either choose to go for longevity, or you could choose to, you know, go for turn 1. But even then, you know, if you risk it and you run Bond, who is going to put debuffs on, and you go second, then Melee's going to be able to cleanse off debuffs. So it's not really that beneficial to run Bond in more than one scenario. So I don't know. It's definitely shifting the meta a bit, of course. You know, the Sins team was already really strong. Sins team is still on top, of course. Human team still does very well, too. I do see people run the human team. Even though the collab has come out, I really have only ran into like a handful of unknown teams at this point. I think that's probably what I want to do next, is test out the unknown team a little bit and see, like, you know, is Escanor just going to completely cuck the unknown team? I don't think it would, but maybe, because, like, you know, the CC is so high on these teams that they could pretty much go first if they want to, which means they're going to out CC the unknown team and more than likely kill Fitoria. If I had to guess, turn 1, which I guess if you're running Albedo, they have to attack into her. I don't know. I kind of need to play around with that, because it would be very unfortunate. Because he's also green, he has type advantage over Albedo, and he has type advantage over the Fitoria. I think the unknown team that I typically use is, you know, Fitoria, Albedo, and Hell. Maybe Hell could work out a little bit in that situation, but I'm not sure how well the Escanor's AoE is going to mess with the whole team in general. So I don't know. I kind of want to test that out, though, so we'll see. Not sure if I'll do it this week, since I'm already now in Challenger and Champ 1, but either way, maybe we'll do it at the beginning of next week or something like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys tomorrow.